Hi, everyone. This is Father Mark, and my reflection is for Friday in the 10th week of Ordinary Time. In these days, since weekday Mass has resumed, some people have commented to me that God must be angry with us. And the reason that they give for this feeling is that it feels for them that God is distant. Now, the scriptures tell us that God never pulls away from us. And I think the answer is that we may have pulled away from God. So many powerfully and emotionally charged events have been pulling our minds in different directions. Instead of being distracted by them, the events that fill our days should be prayerfully explored with God. In the first reading from 1 Kings chapter 19, Elijah feels God tugging at his heart, and he is drawn to a cave on Mount Horeb. In the presence of God, Elijah laments, "I have been most zealous for the Lord, the God of hosts. But the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and put your prophets to the sword. I alone am left, and now they seek to take my life." It seems that the more we try to live faithfully to God, the more we notice the duplicity of the world. As we look at recent events, we can see how angry everyone is and the way people treat each other. And so the words that Elijah spoke to God may be our words as well. Your children have forgotten your covenant. Some people have forgotten the great gift of being chosen and loved by God. But also important is the encounter that Elijah had with God. It is not what Elijah expected. He receives the invitation to come to the cave and wait for God. But God's arrival is not what he is expecting. The scripture says, "A strong heavy wind was rending the mountains and crushing the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. After the fire there was a tiny whispering sound." When he heard this, Elijah hid his face in his cloak and went and stood at the entrance of the cave. Elijah was looking for God in all kinds of powerful signs that evoke strong emotions from us, but the Lord was not in any of those events. However, there was something about the tiny whispering sound that made Elijah know that the Lord was present. This means then, if we want to be open to receiving words from God, we must find ways to still ourselves, to quiet our minds, and to put all of our senses into a state of receptivity. After Elijah does that, he is able to receive instruction from the Lord. And so an episode that begins with powerful events that evoke strong emotions and creates confusion ends with peace. In the responsorial psalm today, Psalm 27, we're given precisely the prayer to quiet our hearts and help us open ourselves to God. I long to see your face, O Lord. Hear, O Lord, the sound of my call. Have pity on me and answer me. Of you my heart speaks. You my glance seeks. Your presence, O Lord, I seek. Hide not your face from me. Do not in anger repel your servant. You are my helper. Cast me not off. I believe that I shall see the bounty of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord with courage. Be stout-hearted and wait for the Lord. I long to see your face, O Lord. For me, the days of self-isolation have been peaceful and quiet days of deep prayer, communion with God. In these beautiful days of summer, I hope that you will find time and space to be able to still your soul and spend happy times with God, who continues to invite you to be with Him. May God bless you.